do have what it takes.
Hello guys and happy Wednesday. I am your host of The Hot Seat, which is what you're watching right now here live in real time at the Social Media Show studio. First and foremost, happy 2024. It is a new year. It is happening. It's great. It's bright. Everything that's been going on so far has been absolutely amazing. We are finally back from our holiday vacation, and we are here and ready to rock and roll. As you can see, I wore my business suit, so I am not playing with this year. First, thank you guys so much for always being a frequent viewer of my show. We've been getting a lot of amazing comments on my holiday greetings video that came out last month before Christmas. And it just shows how well that we're doing here at Social Media Shows. All of the goals that we have set for this new year are already in motion, and we are starting that today on my show, The Hot Seat. So just to recap, The Hot Seat is a show where I invite amazing guests from Las Vegas or anywhere else. We get a lot of people that drive in, fly in, are visiting Las Vegas for a reason, and talk about their journey, what it is, what they do, why they do what they do, and what continues to motivate them. What I love about this is not only meeting amazing people, but is the fact that all these people are not necessarily in the entertainment business. And if they are, they're not necessarily doing what I would be doing. So some of them are behind the scenes, they're out behind the camera, they're writing things, they're doing all of this stuff. But we get a lot of people that are just artists in their own life, whether they're in politics, they're doing nonprofits, whether they're teachers, whether they're photographers, actors, musicians, whatever it may be, we have them come here and sit down here and we drill them on their questions about their life. I do extensive research on all of my guests and find out everything that I possibly can right before they walk into the studio and sit down in the hot seat. So, with that being said, we have two amazing guests lined up for you today, one of which actually drove into town just to be on the show, so I am very, very grateful. So make sure to go grab your lunch, your drinks, your snacks, and get ready for an amazing episode. And when we come back, you are going to meet our first guest, so don't go anywhere.
Now on digital and DVD.
Did it?
Space Wars: Quest for the Deep Star is an epic sci-fi adventure.
Do what needs to be done.
An edge-of-your-seat wild ride.
We have company.
Tons of popcorn-munching fun. 5 stars. A love letter to the sci-fi films of the 70s and 80s. With plenty of action and fun for all. You need to see it. You really do.
The captain just decided it's time to go.
I am ready for a sequel. Experience a bold new adventure. Space Wars: Quest for the Deep Star.
A good old-fashioned adventure.
Now on digital and DVD.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social Media Shows is now the new media of the century.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the Hot Seat. You're watching it live in real time here at the Social Media Shows studio. We are going to jump right into our first guest. Like I said, I'm very fortunate to have this guest come in because he drove all the way down here to be on this show. He is an actor. He has been acting for a really long time and has experience acting television and film all the way through the decades. So if everyone can please welcome actor Bob Sadler.
Hi.
Hi, Bob. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Pleasure
Thank
to
you.
have you. All right. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I woke up, so it's a good day.
Yeah, you woke up and you're here on camera, what you love to do, right?
Yeah.
So let's get right into it. Now, you are originally from California, so you are a West Coast guy.
Born and raised.
And so you had always really loved acting, even though that wasn't something that you had stayed doing consistently throughout your entire career, correct?
Well, I love to be an actor. I love doing it, but as we all know, things happen in your life that takes you in a different direction. And that's what happened with me. But every direction that I went in, I developed skills.
Right.
That when it was ready for me and my time was right to become an actor, I had all these skills that I could use. And it worked.
Yeah, honestly, like being an actor, you learn a lot just from observing.
Yeah.
Right? Which is actually amazing because actually one of the things that you had done was that you were in law enforcement.
Yes.
Correct? And that requires learning a lot about different types of people, not only in the public, but also people that work within your field.
Yes.
And so those skill sets really kind of stay with you in many different ways and you see life a little bit differently. Right? And so what was that like for you, still having the love for the arts, but then going into a field that some might be thinking is completely opposite, right?
Well, if you don't really think about it, being in law enforcement, you're also acting. And people don't realize it. I used to do when I would path search somebody, I would go, hey, you got any bombs, bazookas, or hand grenades on you? And they're looking at me like I'm crazy. But they got path search and they didn't put up a fight. You have to talk to somebody like I'm talking to you, but in a moment's notice. I can get right up into your face and scare the bejeebies out or whatever. And then a second later, I'm just calm. But that's acting.
Right.
And you learn. And you learn from the people that you're arresting. You watch their behaviors. And you learn from their behavior what to expect maybe on something else. And I loved it. I mean, I met some interesting people when I was working in law enforcement. Yeah.
So what was your position in law enforcement? My father was a fugitive, a detective, and law and warrants and stuff like that. So,
Well, I started out as a reserve officer in Upland for 2 years. And then I put myself through the Riverside Sheriff's Academy. And then I got hired by Arcadia PD. And I worked there for about 10 months until they let me go because I got into an auto accident with my training officer and the injury was to my lower back and stuff like that. But it was interesting because when I was there, I don't know if you know about the Night Stalker. He was running around Temple City and all those other places. And I can remember we'd go into like a church parking lot or a place here and there were couples that are, doing their thing in the car. And I'd sneak up on them and walk and then hit them with the flashlight. And they go, oh my God, you're lucky it's me. It could have been him. You'd be dead,
right.
And because of the injury, they let me go. And I took about a year off and then I went to work for the California Department of Corrections.
Okay.
The women's prison in Chino.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fun. That was really
Sure, you have a lot of amazing stories that, can tell people. But I think the one thing that, as an actor myself, I can kind of relate in a way to what you're saying about your career is that you always have to be in the moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't understand is when you're in film, kind of like now, like we're in the moment, we're being present, we're talking right now. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand, right?
Yeah.
And so when you are on film sets, for example, your first big gig from Central Casting was Armageddon. And you got to work with some amazing actors in a legendary film. And you actually got pushed up in that movie from the role that you originally had, correct?
Yeah, it was funny. you picture the big sound stage like this room, and I was standing way over there in the far corner, okay? There's 205 of us. Michael Bay walks in with Casey, the first AD, and he's looking at everybody and he goes, "You, come here." I think to myself, "What the hell am I doing?" "Come with me." I go, "Okay. You're my flight surgeon." Then he told Casey, "Go ahead and set everybody else." And the actor who was playing one of the scientists, and he goes, "That's amazing that he did that." So I got camera time. You see me, especially in the room when they're talking about the meteorite coming and stuff like that. The camera will start on me and it'll come back around on me and stuff like that. I go, wow, this is, I got my first SAG voucher out of it and everything else. And then it was just crazy. I went and did a commercial after that, just sitting background, like I'm doing here. I just sit on set, white t-shirt. Of course, I was a lot younger then. And the director goes, "Okay, when camera rolls, you hold up this sign that says, 'I am Superman.'" Okay. Camera rolled. I stood up, got bumped up to a principal. They had 13 principals sitting in the trailer. It never aired, but that got me my full thing in the SAG. And I'd work background on, I remember I was working background on a TV show. And I was in the trailer and they were outfitting all the cops. And I'm sitting there and I go, "You're doing it wrong. What the hell do you know?" Well, I got 12 years plus law enforcement. I think I know how to dress a cop. They took me down to the line producer. She hired me as a technical advisor. Then I came back and I made sure that they were all looking like they're supposed to look. And I started helping set up scenes, how the cops would do this and do this. And it was just, it was so great. I was really having a good time until the strike hit.
Oh, yes.
Back in 2003, 2004.
Yeah. But you are the prime example of being in the moment, right?
Yeah.
You learn that even though film sets can be very time consuming, right? There's sometimes a lot of sitting, there's a hurry up and wait. But when they need you, you got to already have everything in order. You got to have your wits about you. You have to know what you're doing, even if they tell you and you've never been whatever they're putting you as before. It's just something where you have to constantly be ready and aware.
Well, what the public doesn't understand, you see a clip up on the screen for 3 seconds. It may have taken them 3, 4, 5 days to film that one scene because they have to do all the reverse angles. They have to do everything with each actor and everything else. And they have to make sure it's all, the way it is. And then they put it into the final cut.
Right. And or they may not even use it.
Yeah.
One whole
they
day's
may not
work
even
just
use
kind
it.
of is in the digital verse somewhere deleted.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So back in your younger years, I know you did some drama before, like theater and stuff when you were a lot younger. What was it that drove you to originally look into doing anything like this way back when?
Well, I remember as a kid, me and my friends, we used to play Long Ranger and Tonto, and we used to do all that stuff. And my father was friends with some directors and actors and stuff. So I'd get to go on sets and I'd get to watch what's going on. And I go, wow. And I think to myself, I would really like to do this and stuff like that. But in junior high school and high school, I worked the stage crew and I would run the projection camera for a projector when they would show movies in the auditorium and stuff like that. So I was getting on both sides. I just really enjoyed it. But when I graduated in 1969, there's a little thing going over in Asia, Vietnam. And me and my friends, we were all sitting in Santa Monica College. And they had the draft. Oh, God. And my birthday was the first one they drew out. I go, oh, God. Then they drew a corresponding number, 200 and something. I go, well, I'm not getting drafted. I threw my books away and I went to work at Bob's Big Boy. I worked in my grandfather's factory where I learned how to sew, single needle, double needle. I became an auto mechanic.
You learn how to toss pizza and touch it with
Oh yeah,
right?
That's how, people don't realize you toss it up and you got to grab it like this with your hands and you can fold it. Otherwise they go, yeah. But yeah, as a kid, we used to sneak into MGM, my friends and I. We'd go on the back lot And that was the Gone with the Wind set and the Tarzan set and everything else. And the guard knew it. He finally goes, guys, just don't get hurt. And we used to play like in that. And then across the street was the aircraft where they hold all the old World War II and World War I aircraft. And I remember the B-7. And we'd sit there and get in the planes. It was just so great. It was such a great life in the 60s, you know. And I met the Beatles.
Yeah.
I met Elvis Presley, Anne Margaret, Sinatra. It was such a great time for my generation.
Yeah.
We were the hippies or whatever. I even had long hair and wore moccasins, and it was just great,
Yeah.
you know. And but life throws you curveballs, and you have
Right.
to. Great from Dirty Harry, improvise. What is it? Improvise, whatever it is, I forgot it. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. And I learned I had to do what I had to do. And when I had a family, work came first and everything else. And but when I retired from my law enforcement, that's when I knew I had my life to play. I had a pension. I didn't have to worry about anything. And I could go do what I always wanted to do.
And now you have many credits.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you started and then, you know, life happened and then you came back. And if I remember correctly, like you started getting back in film sets around the 80s, or going into the 90s, which was a completely different time when it comes to media,
Yeah.
how things were ran, different types of people that were on the screens, right? And so adapting to that, I'm pretty sure, and just like now, and then now like the way film is, how we audition, things like that are all completely different. So how did you navigate going into these different film sets with a different mindset, let's just say, than what you would have remembered before you took on all these other careers?
I just took it one day at a time, you know. I grew up around so many people and I watch people. If you go into a restaurant, you can probably know, and you'll see, look at everybody, and most of the time the cops will be sitting with their backs to the wall and their eyes, like I'm talking to you, but my eyes are always
Right.
moving. Have you noticed that?
Oh, yes.
That's instinctive because I'm being aware of everything. And when I started acting in 1998 when I first got on Armageddon, and it was great. But I had a life-ending issue. My appendix burst, and I walked around for 3 days. I go, oh, I finally went to the ER and go, I don't feel good. When I retired, I had injuries. I have a lung injury, asbestos in my lungs and my knees. You saw me walking with the limp. I've got my second knee replacement here. But that doesn't stop me. You know, my thing is, I'll go to bed tonight, and if I don't wake up in tomorrow, I'm never going to know anyway. But if I do wake up, then I make the best of it, well, no matter what it is. I look for work on Actors Access, casting networks, Facebook. I just do what I have to do. And I know so many guys and gals when in the law enforcement that when they retired, they go, what am I going to do? And they ended up eating a gun or becoming drunks or drug addicts and stuff like that. That's not for me.
Right.
No, I'm going to live my life as best that I can. Do I get depressed at times? Yes. Do I get sad? Yes. Do I want more? Yes. But Hollywood is its own, I don't know how to say the word exactly, but it's got its own mindset.
Oh yeah, it's
You
its
know.
own universe. I always call it.
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
different world that has its own way of navigating, and you can't do it a conventional way. There's no right or wrong, and there's no one way. Is how I've experienced.
What I experienced was they want something from you, and if you don't give it to them, then they just move on to somebody else. And I experienced that on a few sets. And that cost me jobs, it cost me work and everything else. And I didn't understand it. I I didn't have anybody to guide me. So I got taken advantage of by managers that go, oh yeah, well, I need a couple $100 up front to get everything rolling and da, 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 da. And I never got any work out of them. And find out they just scamming me and stuff like that. So I learned the hard way. And if I'm on set and I see somebody that's just starting, I'll say, hey, look, don't fall for all of this stuff. You know, there used to be a bookstore in the Valley, San Fernando Valley, Samuel French. You could go in there and find all the books you want on acting. And they would tell you what you need to do, what were the scams, how to look out for stuff. They don't have that stuff anymore.
No.
And people, they say the casting couch is gone. It's not gone.
Oh, no, it's not gone.
It's
never
just
gone. Yeah.
changed it around a little bit, you know.
Yeah. The way to fit the time period and the time frame with
Yeah,
all the media
you know.
right now. Yeah. If anything, I feel like now it's a lot easier to do a lot of the things that people would be doing in the industry that are not so positive. Now, so when you came back to acting, I know that you then started delving into more acting classes, reading the books and stuff. But the underlying question of all of this was, what is it about acting for you that brought you back? Why do you want to be an actor?
I just love it. I just love being an actor and doing things. I can remember I was on a set, Crazy Beautiful, with Jay Hernandez and Kirsten Dunst. And I choreographed the traffic stop towards the end of the movie. And I told Jay, I go, Jay, I'm retired law enforcement. So don't do anything stupid because I'm going to instinctively react. He goes, okay, Bob, no problem. So we do the traffic stop. I got him out of the car. I pat searched him and I walked him around the front of the car. He was sitting on the curb and I was talking to him. And then Kirsten was doing her thing in the car. And Jay jumped up. I put him on the hood of the car. It was a 65 Ford Galaxy with the hood ornament. And I pulled my handcuffs and I handcuffed him. And I wasn't using prop cuffs. I was using real cuffs. And I walked over and I grabbed Kirsten. We pulled her out of the car, handcuffed her, and my partner walked her back to the car. The director yells, cut. And I hear Jay go, Bob, can I move now?
You're like, whoops.
I'm so sorry, Jay, but yeah, it's just, God, one day I can be a cop, the next day I can be a cowboy. I did a Super Bowl spot this past Saturday. I was a grandfather. You know, it's so much fun. You could be anything you want to be at any given time, whatever they want you to be. And that's what I like about it.
It's different every time. It's
Yeah, it's different.
in a way.
It's stimulating.
Yeah.
Because if you don't stimulate the mind and your body, you're going to die.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You know, and I'm not ready for that. I
Oh,
want to be
yeah, you
around for
shouldn't.
another
No one
20 or
should.
30 years to torment
Right.
people.
So what is your goal in regards to acting? I know you're doing a lot of law enforcement roles. You're doing a lot of the same things, but is there something in you that wants to just delve into something completely different to challenge yourself as an actor?
Yeah, well, you know what surprised me was on the set of Armageddon, I was talking to Jason Isaacs. He played the scientist. And we were talking about writing. He said, well, go write it. So I went home after that and I wrote like a 5-page, almost like a Twilight Zone thing, all handwritten. And I brought it back to him and he goes, hey, that's pretty good. So I registered it and stuff like that. And then I started getting work and everything else. And then I remember I was watching one of Clint Eastwood's Dirty Harry movies. And I sat down and I wrote a Dirty Harry movie, but I changed it all around. I took it like 20 years into the future where he finds out that he has a son by a girl, a woman he was with, and all that other stuff. I never did anything with it. And then I guess when COVID hit, I sat down, I had this crazy idea, and I wrote a Western. And, but it's not your typical shoot 'em up, bang, bang.
Yeah.
There's no cussing in it. There's no sex. There's no real violence. I dealt with the Civil War and the racial issues. I dealt with the discrimination. I dealt with white man and the Comanche and the Indians, but I dealt with it in a respectable way where there's mutual respect.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to sell it. I'm hoping to win the lotto. Then I can film it.
Yeah.
You know, that would be my ultimate goal. But for me, it's just life. I just want to enjoy life and be the best person that I can. And that's all you can ask for. And then when my time comes, I'll either go up there or I'll go down. I don't know. I'm hoping I go up there.
Right. So you've done a lot of, I know, local independent films that have been going around, and one of them recently actually made it into Vegas Movie Awards that happened some months ago.
Yeah.
Correct.
I can't think of the name. Drone Down, I think it was.
And the Jungle, I think you did one that was...
Oh, God, I don't remember. I've
Yeah.
got so many. But I know Drone Down got into the festivals and things like that. I just had one little scene at the end because the director liked what I did for the audition, but because of my leg, I couldn't run.
Mm-hmm.
And I suggested to him, well, hey, I'm being chased by Bigfoot. What if I just fall down? He goes, no, it's not going to work. So I just did a little scene at the end. I'm not looking for stardom.
Okay.
You know, I'm looking for just work. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm on set. Do what you want me to do. Da, 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 da. Okay, you're done. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah. You just
then-
love working on sets, being
I
on
just love
film
working,
sets, the
being on
culture
set
of
working.
the sets.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So how do you think the Las Vegas film industry is going right now? I know there's a lot of talks of, oh my God, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And a lot of people that are doing what you do, and also people that do production, sit in the scene and they're like, I want to be the one and only production company here in Las Vegas, right? Everyone sees how film is moving differently. How do you see it? As someone with decades of experience and living in different decades and seeing how it's changed, how do you view Las Vegas within the film industry?
Well, Las Vegas has always been the entertainment capital.
Right.
Going all the way back to when Bugsy Signal first started with the Flamingo. Yes, they've shot TV shows Las Vegas and they've shot movies here and stuff like that. I know when they did the Ocean's 11 movies here, they have hangars or warehouses over by the airport that they turned into sound stages and stuff like that. And I know that there are major celebrities now living here and who wanted to start a studio. But I'm never going to see it happen. They're never going to replace Hollywood, and they're never going to replace New York. You may bring a lot of work here, but it's all coming from LA.
Right.
All the actors are coming from LA. I got a breakdown yesterday, and I got it again today. They're looking for people and stuff like that. But it's a film that's shooting here, and most of it came from Hollywood and stuff like that. And they'll cast the one-liners or small roles, but for the most of the part, they don't do it. I don't see it really happening. I really don't. Yes, great, they got Formula One, and they got Super Bowl coming up in 3
Right.
weeks.
But that's like a separate entity.
Yeah, that's totally
right?
separate.
Yeah.
But that's the type of entertainment that Las Vegas has always been known for. It's never been known for a film
Yeah.
capital, and I don't see it ever
It's
happening.
money and tourism as well. Las
Money
Vegas
and tourism,
wants.
exactly.
But what's interesting about you, and I love your perspective, is that you're the only one that has sat here saying the opposite of what everyone's like. Oh my God, it's up and coming, and it could be right. I mean, I can't tell the future. However, I love that you bring a different perspective because that's real. This is what Las Vegas is, and in order for that to happen would mean people have to start believing in the talent here. And for some reason, I don't know what that is, it's very hard for big production companies and agencies and the roles that matter to look more towards Las Vegas than just a city that they might get that location cheaper, right?
Yeah, and I did a music video 2-3 months ago for a major rap artist and stuff like that, and we shot it in one of the casinos. But the casino never shut down. It was always,
Yeah.
it was going and stuff like that. But in order to build a major studio, you're talking $500 million for, at least 10, 12 sound stages and a back lot and all the equipment and everything else. And I don't see it here happening. Yes, there's a lot of talent here. You got the showgirls, the magicians, the singers, You've got actors that live here, named stars, and you got actors like me. You know, we're character actors in the other stuff. But I was coming back, I know I'm probably getting time here. I was coming back from LA where I was working, and there was a whole caravan of vehicles coming up there, film vehicles. And they were coming up to Vegas to shoot a film. They shot their film and then they all went back to LA. It would be great if it happened. I just don't see it. I just don't see them. You know, the entertainment here, the shows at the hotels are what people want to see, you know, or the flight over to the Grand Canyon or something like that.
Party scenes.
Yeah, and the party, I mean, it's great. Now, I don't know how long you lived here, but I remember walking on Las Vegas Boulevard with my, you know, when it was safe, of course. But it was a different time then. And it was great. You look around and then, well, there's a Stardust, and you come back a week later. Where's the Stardust? The Bellagio's there. You know, they keep tearing down and rebuilding, but it's still all about the hotels, the gaming, and the shows and the entertainment. Now they got that big
The
sphere. And I heard today they were talking, well, who should they bring back next? There was Paul McCartney, there was Rod Stewart, there was a couple other people, you know, and that's great. But people are coming to see that. Or they'll go to see where Rod Stewart's playing, or they'll go see whoever's at the Desert Inn, or well, the Sands doesn't exist anymore, but at the Hilton and stuff like that, you know. Even way back when Elvis was here, everybody was coming up to see Elvis, you know, and stuff like that. And I mean, would it change? Would I love it to change? I would love to see it, but do I believe it will? I don't think so.
So what would your key advice be, if you could sum it down to one sentence, to maintain in the film industry and be consistent?
Believe in your abilities, believe in yourself, and never give up.
Yeah.
And pursue your love for acting, whether it's film and television, if it's theater, you know, if it's comic, stand-up comic. Never give up your dream, because the moment you give up on your dream, you give up on life. And you know what happens after that.
Exactly. Now, this final question I ask
Sure.
all of my guests, and it's always interesting because it kind of sums up who they are and why they do what they do and how they inspire others and what they contribute to their career. And this is there a philosophy that you live by?
Do to others as you would have them do to you. Be
I love
kind
that.
to people. You know, where I live, and it's off the subject, I live up in Pahrump, and it's a lot of military retirees there. And it upsets me when I go into the markets or something like that, and I see an elderly vet trying to get something off the shelf, and people just walking by. And I go, can I help you? Sure. What'd that take? 2 seconds out of my life? And the smile on their face, well, thank you. You know, when I grew up in the 60s, things were a lot different. We had Vietnam and everybody was this. Now you got what's going over in the Middle East. You got what's going over in, you know, the East, the far Pacific and stuff like that. People don't talk to people. You don't sit down at the family dinner table with your mother and your father and your sister and your brothers, and you have a family dinner. That's what's missing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and
Yeah, it was interesting. I was back home for the holidays. My mom brought that up because I was raised, we always sat down, lunch, dinner. And she literally brought it. She goes, you know what's interesting is that no one does this anymore. And I was like, you're right. You know, and there's always a routine. You know, we help clean up. Everyone's got their role, but it's like they're the same thing. And it's weird to people now when you bring that up and they don't understand, like, that dynamic. Some people are always like, that's kind of weird. Like, why do you always have to do that? But, like, that is very integral to especially, you know, how you're raised, like, the connections you have with people. your family, and maintaining that about you. So
Yeah,
I
when I
understand.
was growing up, we didn't worry about peer pressure. And now look at all these kids that have brought guns to their classes, or they've shot up their classes. And you can't get into the psyche. Why? But I would bet that it goes back to the basic roots, family values. You don't sit down with your parents, you don't sit down with your sisters and brothers, and you talk. Well, you got to go here, you got to go here, you got to do, or with the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no values anymore. And then you have the news, which keeps pounding you with all this false stuff and these false lies and everything else.
Yeah, you don't even know what's real anymore.
You don't know what's
That's
real
how I feel
anymore.
it. And it's all negative.
It's
So
all
I
negative,
feel a lot of
and
those things.
you can't live in negativity. You have to have something positive in your life. And for me, like I said, I woke up this morning, I called my neighbor and I go, so he's got a dog named Max. I go, so how'd Max like the 20-degree weather? He goes, oh, he didn't care, he was outside. But we talked,
Yeah.
and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And people don't talk. I'm talking with you, and almost our entire conversation, we have eye contact.
Yes.
You go to other people, and they just
Yeah,
don't
that's
like
very
it.
rare. I've realized
very
that. 'Cause I
rare.
always make eye contact, but I notice when makes people uncomfortable.
It
'Cause
makes
it's
people
like they don't
uncomfortable.
want to. I don't know. Maybe it's a different.
I don't either.
it's a
but-
different thing.
I was raised that you respect your elders.
Right.
You open the car door for a woman or something like that. You're polite. You have manners. I'm not saying you don't have your moments, because I've had plenty of my moments and stuff like that. But there's no mutual respect anymore for people. They just, oh my God, they don't care. The world's going to end tomorrow. I'm going to get everything I can today. And I have a theory about that. And then I'll let you go. And look at all these new species that they are finding in the jungles. They thought were extinct, and they're not. Mother Nature is telling us something, and we better heed her word, or it's goodbye, cancel Christmas.
Goodbye, all of us. The dinosaurs might come back, But
Oh my God, can you imagine that?
you know what? I also had this conversation. I feel like everything's going to reverse and get back at us humans for
Well, I hope
You know.
we really have to,
listen and care about others besides ourselves.
they've been telling us, the science has been
Correct.
telling us for years. We've got to stop doing this or we're going to destroy the planet. And look what we've done to the planet. And me, I happen to like living here.
Yeah, you have a lust for life and you love working. You like getting up every day and doing everything that makes you you, which is amazing. So
Yeah.
with that, thank you, Bob, for
My
being
pleasure.
here in the
Thank you
studio.
for
I
having
hope
me.
you had an amazing time here.
It was.
Your
It
first
was
experience
good.
on the hot seat. So thank you so much, everyone. Bob Sadler.
Thank you.
He is on Facebook, correct? And you
Yes.
also have IMDb. So
IMDb, I'm on Instagram. Yeah. It was fun. I enjoyed
yeah,
it.
so everyone, if you're looking for someone, especially if you want someone in law enforcement that can tell you right from wrong and be on the film set, he's going to be your guy. So everyone to
you.
reach
I
out to
appreciate
him,
that.
and I really hope that you check out all of his work. That's going to be on there on IMDb. It's going to have all of those things. And
Yeah.
if anything, you just reach out to him. He's a great guy. A great conversationalist, so he's going to have all of what you're looking for. So everyone, Bob Sadler, water and calls one more time. And make sure you guys don't go anywhere because we have one more guest, and I'm never done talking. See you then.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Skoda with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause because we're always doing things for veterans. So GI Connections, Social Media Shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Skoda, proud United States Air Force veteran.
Hi, guys, and welcome back to the Hot Seat. I am your host, Priscilla Moy. I hope you enjoyed that amazing conversation with Bob. He's been in the industry long enough, and I'm sure has a lot more stories to tell, so I'd love to have him back on. But we're going to jump to another area of entertainment. Now, this queen is known as the Las Vegas social eye. She does many, many different things behind the camera. She's a photographer, videographer, she's a writer, she's a poet, and she's won awards. She has an advertising agency, all of the above. So let's get down to it. Everyone, please welcome Christina Thompson. Hello, Queen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
Please
Thanks for
take
having
a
me.
seat. You're going to blind everyone at home with your amazing, amazing outfit. I'm glad that you wore this.
Thank
It's
you.
great.
Thank
The
you.
necklace is
I
great.
actually was kind of going over my head, like, what should I wear? I don't want to upstage it, but who could upstage that beautiful face? Okay. She's always a diva, so.
Oh,
no.
always.
But, I also have to be myself.
Oh, yeah,
so,
of course. We
but,
love that.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people come on here, they're just like, is what I'm wearing okay? I'm like, as long as you're
Right.
you,
Right.
that's all we care about.
Yeah,
Represent
exactly.
yourself. Don't do it for anyone other than yourself.
Exactly.
Right.
That's a lifelong term,
Oh,
just
exactly.
be yourself.
Yes. So there's a lot to unfold with you. You do many, many different things. You're just the boss. You're literally a boss. So you're a West Coast girl.
Yes.
Yes. And then you actually, what's interesting is that you went to school at DeVry.
DeVry University.
Yes. I am from Chicago. So
Oh,
yes.
yeah. I've been to
So-
Chicago when we had our seminar out there, and it was fantastic. It was
Yeah.
my first time in Chicago, and it was snowing that time.
Of course it is.
So I'll never
Probably
forget that.
cold as heck.
Yes.
But yeah, so you have been here, there, everywhere doing amazing things. And so what is it about being in the arts and entertainment that really drove you here and stayed? Because you're not only do you do photography, videography, advertising, camera work, but you also are designer too, right? So like she does all the aspects of the arts that you can think of, right?
Yeah. I would say that it stems from when I was a child, and I would say that God dropped me off, with the stork. He dropped me off in the wrong state. Berkeley, California is really kind of, I would call it a shy town. It's kind of like a nook and cranny. It doesn't want to be seen. It's not flamboyant like myself. And so as I was a child, when we had all of our little events, the family would get together, and I would be the only one that would stand out in the crowd of our family gatherings, and because I would have to perform.
Oh, yeah. She was the Kim K of the family.
Yes, I'm the Kim K. Okay, so, it's funny because in the same token, I was an introvert. I was very shy in school. I was bullied in school because I was shy. I was a thumbsucker. A little tidbit about me. And so people would never expect someone like that to want to get out in front of people and perform. And go figure, as an adult, I still had that desire to be in the entertainment industry in some shape, fashion, or form, whether I was the performer or I was a photographer, because my grandmother was a famous photographer in her town and in Berkeley. She's all over the Berkeley Main Library, famous for all of her landscape photography all over, from San Francisco's in the 1950s, 40s. And, it just flowed through our blood. My twins are actually freelance photographers for Nike as well. Okay. And so it was in our blood. They were models. I was a model. They wanted to act. I wanted to act. So it's kind of like it was in our blood. My grandmother was a model as well. And so that's why I say I was born in the wrong town. So when I moved here to Vegas, I saw my opportunity to live out at least my dream and get my 15 minutes of fame if I if I could do that, as far as being in the public eye and being on stage. I've always wanted to be a performer. I didn't have the singing voice, even though I was in a choir all my life in church. But I didn't have that gift to actually sing, as they say. But I sing behind my tracks of my spoken word, my poetry. So I did perform on stage for a few number of years, maybe about 5 years. And I kind of grew out of it, honestly. And I wanted to write books about my life because my story is very, very, and not one that many people would say that is, I would say not. It's not common because I went through so much, but I still stand. I'm still triumphing over all of the obstacles and all of the trials that I went through in life. And so I wanted to tell my story through poetry, and that's what I did. So I was able to also break out of my shell because I was an introvert by nature, and I wanted to get on stage, and I wanted people to see me and hear my voice. So that was a way for me to break out of the shyness side of me, so I can be able to speak to people in the industry and get to know all the local artists here in Las Vegas without clamming up.
Right, right. And it helps in being in the arts, you have to learn about people and socializing, even if you don't ever start out like that. Because you and I have some similarities. I was not always loving being extroverted. It's a thing you work through, even though it might always be there, but unless you channel it, it's not going to come out, right? You got to do what you got to do.
You have to do what you have to do, and you're going to make your mistakes. You're going to fumble on stage, especially on stage, where I made my mistakes, forgot my lyrics, and felt really embarrassed. But the more you do something, regardless if it's on stage or just going out to networking mixers, the more you do it, the more you become comfortable with the environment and the atmosphere of being around a lot of people and them noticing you and them actually paying attention to you. Because if you would have asked me 10 years ago if I would ever want to be interviewed on TV, I would have said, oh, no. I wasn't camera shy when it comes down to pictures because believe me, I was known as the selfie queen on Facebook for years.
I've seen a lot of them. She still does. Her little reels. I see them.
I don't do as much as I did when I first started off on Facebook, but now it's like, so I grew and broke out of that shell. It's like a caterpillar into a butterfly. So I turned into that butterfly where I'm that social butterfly now. But my thing is that I want to actually, instead of being the performer, I want to be behind the scenes because there's so many artists out here that are incredible that don't get the acknowledgement and the recognition that they deserve as being local celebrity entertainers. And so that's what I wanted to do as being the Las Vegas socialite, is actually being their eye, their eagle eyes, and showing them off to the world, and making promo videos for them to really show off their diversity and their skills and their talent on stage. And, it's fabulous. I just love it.
And that's why you have your own advertising agency, Savage Journey Entertainment in advertising, correct?
Yes.
And how long have you had that going on?
Actually, I started it as Vegas Valley Visions, and it didn't pop off. That was back in 2016.
Okay.
And so I think I didn't position myself and learn enough about the industry to really make it happen and, be successful in it. So life happened, as they say, life be life. And life happened to me and got in the way of me being able to bring that to fruition. And so I had to put that on the back burner and take care of Christina. And so I was still recording my lyrical poetry from home during the pandemic. And then I said, I still have this burning desire inside me to do something for the local artists, to show my appreciation, to bring them to the forefront of, Las Vegas. They're the thread that, the beautiful different color thread that brings this town together. They're the tapestry. They are Las Vegas, So I said, I'm going to bring it back. I just don't know how. And this one day I just woke up and said, I'm a savage. I'm a beast. I know I can do this. I can accomplish any goal that I want to, and so can you. And so I said, I want to be a motivator. I want someone to look at and be inspired by me, by what I'm doing, maybe take some notes and create something of their own, and in the entertainment industry. And said, so Savage Journey. I said, you know what? My journey has been so hard, but I'm a savage because I made it through. And that's where Savage Journey came from.
Yeah.
Because I have been a domestic violence survivor. So Savage Journey is not just a name. It actually stems from the blood, sweat, and tears that I went through to get here. The bullying, the homelessness, the abuse, verbal, physical, mental abuse that I was subjected to for many years. And then my survival through it all, it just showed that I was a beast and I can conquer anything.
Exactly.
And
Like a
so-
queen too, and you can shine through it all.
You can
Obviously.
shine. No, you can.
Yes.
So I'm also a motivational speaker for domestic violence and advocate for domestic violence, women and children affected by domestic violence and displaced by it, being homeless. And so I went out to the shelters at the Shade Tree Shelter where I lived for 3 months myself. And so hence that's where Savage Journey came from, because I said, you know what, I'm an artist in my own right and I'm a survivor. And so I'm going to mesh it all together, because these artists, you may see them standing on stage saying, oh, you know, this is me, and smiling and acting like they've never gone through something. But that's what we do as artists. You know, we can't let them see us sweat and show the weaker side of what we've gone through in our life. And we'll tell our stories through our songs, but they don't know when we get home, we may have to cry about that because it touched our nerve or, touched our spirit. But, they have stories too. So they can relate to my stories, because some of them have been abused too. And that's why they do what they do, because they want to spread joy and love in people's lives and spread happiness, into those lives that, need some happiness, right now, especially during a pandemic, during COVID. People lose people every day. They go through so much. And so Las Vegas, what I take personally from the Las Vegas local entertainers is the fact that when I go to their shows, I leave like, like it's my fix,
Yeah.
It
inspires you in a way, and kind of recharges you and reminds you why you're in the industry.
Right. It gives me purpose, so that this is my purpose. And I love them so much. I can list a whole name of them that I just love. And I appreciate them for all the hard work that goes into behind the scenes of them doing what they do for us.
Yes.
And so being the Las Vegas socialite and doing what I do, I just basically want to be that outlet and that go-to person for who to go see, and where they're showing, and, who they are. Go follow E.C. Adams. Go follow Monique Maffei Hessner. Go follow Rita Lim. Go follow Teddy Davis Jr. Go follow these artists. Genevieve, okay? There's so many artists. I can go on and on and on, but there's so many fabulous, dynamic celebrities here in our town that need the support, need the appreciation and recognition. And that's where I come in.
Yeah, I love that. So you had mentioned before that when you made your first agency and it really wasn't popping off, and then you came back, it's really, I feel like it's really popping off for you. Yeah. What was that key thing that you thought you found out was missing? What was it?
Well, I think the key thing for me was the fact that I had to believe in myself and not look for approval, not look for the support, because most times when we start something new and we're excited about it, we want everybody else to be excited about it. But on the other hand, I have to realize that I don't need validation from anyone. I know my God-given talents. And so stop standing in your way. That was what it was. I was standing in my own way. And I did have some health issues that kind of prevented me from starting it again. For like 3 or 4 years, I was pretty ill. And so that's when that mentality came to me where, well, maybe God doesn't want this for me after all. I have this big dream, these great ideas. And, I started feeling sorry for myself. Never feel sorry for yourself. Don't let that mindset take over your mind when you have this great idea, this great gift that's inside you. You have purpose in your life. So don't let this one little stumbling block stop you from moving forward. It may slow you down, but don't let it stop you. See, I decided to just give it all up, throw it all away, throw in the towel, retire my mic, never jump on stage again. And, that's not what God wanted me to do. He kept telling me, no, You're gonna do this.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna do this. But you need to get out of your own way.
Yeah.
That was it.
So in 2016, you actually won an award for
Yeah.
spoken word. That was probably a huge moment for you, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
see a smile on her face, like she's still with her today. So with that piece, what was that piece about? Is it something that really spoke true to your heart and that was the one that won? Or is it, you know?
No, actually, it was a BMA award, the Black Entertainment Awards out here, the Black Music Awards, and they were vocal in me deciding to keep working on my craft. Because I never thought in a million years that I would come to Vegas and there would be an awards ceremony or organization period. I had no idea about it until maybe 2018, but I had been out here since 2012. And so basically I looked at them, and I've gone to some of the award ceremonies with friends as just, a fan. And I was like, wow, I would love to be on that stage, winning an award. But it'll never happen. See, standing in your way, that negative Nancy mindset.
Right.
And I had to get over that too. And so I said, you know what? It's possible. One day I might. So here we are in 2016, and they approached me and said, you know what? You were nominated for a BMA award for the Best Spoken Word Artist of the Year. So it wasn't just one piece. It was just the Best Spoken Word Artist of the Year. And I said, those little bitty accomplishments that I thought were so small, and I didn't think anyone was watching me or really cared about my little poetry, about my life, they actually hurt me.
All of it.
Yeah. I didn't think people were watching me. Just when you think that you don't have the support, because when you're on Facebook and you're posting all of your poetry or your music, whatever it is you do, and you don't see any likes, and people would tell me, just because they don't post or they don't like on your post doesn't mean I didn't see it. And I'm like, but why didn't they like it? Why didn't they post on it?
That
validation. There was no validation.
That you're looking for, that you don't need,
You see? I grew out of that.
Yeah.
I don't need that anymore. I've grown up. I've matured. I've turned into that butterfly where, I'm flying free. And if no one wants to fly with me, it's okay. So when I won that award, it just showed me that I still had a gift. And God was kind of awarding me and showing me that I bless you with this gift to share with the world your story so you can help someone else survive. It's inspirational stories about my life and what I've gone through. And a lot of us have all gone through the same thing I've gone through. It's nothing new. And so when I won that award, I was so proud, and I said to myself, you know what, this is it. I don't need to prove myself anymore. I don't need to continue going to the BMA Awards to try to win another award against other fabulous spoken word artists out here like Brittany Sharp. Amazing. Love her. And honestly, there was I think it was Brittany Sharp and another artist that I was up against, and I still, to this day, cannot believe that I won that over even Brittany Sharp, because she is sharp as a tattoo. And she is a singer. She is a fantastic spoken word artist. And so I give a lot of praise. I accepted that award on behalf of all of the spoken word community, the spoken word artists out there that are doing it. They're still doing it to this day, where I decided to retire my mic. They're still doing it, and they're still doing good things. So I really accepted it on their behalf, and I wanted to let them know that I love them so much, and I'm so proud of them. And I'm so thankful that I'm still a part of the industry in this way, where I can now show off their talents and celebrate them.
Right. Now you're celebrating a bunch of artists. I know that you do your own interviews. You have interviewed a lot of singers. I know Rita Lynn, that's one interview that I did see.
Yes.
So what is it like not only going to the shows, advertising them, pushing out their social media, but actually getting to know these artists? What do you take from knowing them personally, and how you bring that into your work?
Oh my goodness. Getting to know them on a personal level, even after their shows, and getting to become friends with them, it shows me their true heart, their true spirit. Because, like I said earlier, not only are they working so hard behind the scenes to make their productions grand, but they're real people. And they'll tell me stories about what they're going through, what they're dealing with. And I'm like, wow, you have all this going on. Like the Rita Lim, she was my first interview. And when she told me all that she had going on, and she still shows up at the Tuscany every Sunday at 7 p.m., being that beautiful, bright, shining star on stage and acting as if that's all she has to do. But she's has all this burst of energy, and she's incredible. So I tie that in with what I do, because this Las Vegas Socialite and the Las Vegas Spotlight videos that I do, the interviews that I do and conduct with these fabulous entertainers, shows you a sneak peek into their life, that they have a lot going on outside of what they're doing for us, entertaining us. They're not just sitting around. We have this perception of entertainers that they're living this grandiose life, and they're like sitting at the pool. If they're not entertaining, they're sitting at their big mansion, just, because that's what people would come to Vegas, and they see even the local entertainers and artists, they think of them as having billions of dollars, and they have big cars, and they have no problems, no stress. But I tell you, when I talk to some of them, they'll tell you some things, but I tell you, they make it look good. When they get on stage, they're a beast too. They're a savage journey.
Oh.
That's their savage journey. They're showing you that no matter what life bring you, if you have any obstacles, walk around them, honey, and get on that stage and be fabulous.
Oh, yeah. Be
Okay?
fabulous.
You can do it. Okay? There's no excuse, because what they've told me and disclosed to me versus what you see on stage, honey, I just bow down.
Right.
Like,
Right. Yeah.
like they are teaching me how to still push through the adversity of being in the entertainment spotlight, because that it does come with a lot of challenges
it does.
and adversities.
Yes.
It could be an ugly business,
It isn't.
It
In
is.
my experience.
Yeah,
I noticed
and-
that the
and
better
you know.
that you do, the worse you get it, which is odd. The
Exactly.
dichotomy of that. The more you succeed, the harder
harder.
hardships you have to go through, because people don't like that.
That's
right?
right. That's
It's a very
right.
jealous, superficial industry.
And that's the sad
Yeah.
part, yeah, when you mentioned that about, being jealous in the industry. And I was thinking about that today, because I knew that that subject would kind of come up, because the sad part about Las Vegas and the entertainment industry here is that there's so much beauty in these entertainers. There's so many talented, gifted artists. And in my eyes, there's enough room at the top for everybody. You do you. Let them do them. Don't bring each other down. If we all lift each other up and praise each other and celebrate each other, just like women. Like, she's gorgeous. She's amazing. I'm learning from this young lady here. Priscilla, I adore you. I've watched you. I've taken notes on your little videos, and I'm like, okay, that's what you should do. So look, be humble and appreciate the God-given talent in you, but don't bring down someone else. But that's what they do
That's what
here
they
in Las
do.
Vegas.
But it stems from their own
Because of jealousy.
insecurities.
Its own insecurity.
It's never that person.
No, it's
No.
never that person. But it's sad, because it makes you feel some kind of way when you're at the butt end of that, that
Exactly.
jealousy. And,
yeah.
even though you didn't do anything to deserve it.
Yeah. Yep. And that's what I experience every day. But what I've learned is, and I'm sure you've seen it with a lot of these artists, is that the main key is, if they're making you feel those emotions, look inside first. If they're
right.
just existing,
Yeah.
you clearly admire them in a way.
Right.
And you trying to paint them as something else is not going
Right.
to help you.
No.
Because if that person moves you that much, they're probably at a place that can probably just and if you don't want to be,
They'll hit rock bottom.
and then they can make moves, and you might mess with the wrong one, and so that's what a lot of people don't understand. In Las Vegas is
Exactly.
full of a lot of these energies.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you know what's sad about that also, is that even though you're trying to do the right thing by everyone here. Like, I want to get to know as many entertainers out here so I can, spotlight them as well and show off their amazing talents. And I meet a lot of good people, good-hearted entertainers. And so those are the ones I really work hard for. Those that appreciate what I do. I'll work for anyone, but I really go hard for those who appreciate the dynamics of what I go through and have to do for them. But they bring a lot to me, so that's why I do it, But I would never want to be involved in the butt-in or the messiness that goes along with the entertainment industry, because even being a good person, they are jealous of you for being that good person and people wanting to gravitate to you and be on your show or do or hang out with you or whatever. And then now they want to start a rumor. And 90% of the time, if there's any rumors out there about me, they're wrong. They're not true.
No, it never is. So I'm going to ask one more question. This question I ask all my guests. It really sums up who they are and really just kind of brings you together as a whole. And that question is there a philosophy that you live by?
Yes. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you.
And that's exactly the same thing that Bob Sadler said. You too,
Wow.
And it's really interesting because I make a joke that I always have a theme of every episode, even if it's not planned. It'd be two completely different people doing different things.
That's right.
And something about the episode in a whole has this similarity. With all of my guests. I think it's happened every episode, Maria. Like, you find a similar thing.
I have chill bumps right
and it's
now.
a lesson. And so when you started talking, you two have completely different energies. Right?
I know.
Completely different upbringings.
Right.
Do completely different things,
Yes.
but yet you now sing the same words. So, I mean, I feel like
It was not pre-planned. It was nothing but God,
and
the
you
creator.
both stand for perseverance. And if
Yes.
there's anything that any artist is going to take from these interviews, it's going to be the perseverance and going through everything that life throws at you, which is another thing that Bob was talking about, how life threw him a lot of things that he had to overcome before he came back. So you both,
same thing.
you guys should work together. I don't know what that's about.
We
but-
did connect outside.
Yeah.
When he was leaving, we did connect. So we are definitely going to get together.
So that's amazing, and I'm glad I can be a part of that.
Oh, you all were.
So.
Thank you, Maria. I appreciate that. And I just want to give a shout out to everyone that's watching right now. I appreciate all of my fans and followers. You guys are amazing. I can't name everyone, but EC Adams, you're going to have a show on March 15th at the Italian American Club. Thank you for Coast to Coast Entertainment, Trish and Janine, for all you do. Italian American Club, you guys are amazing, and we will see you.
And where can all of the amazing viewers follow you and find out more about you and reach out to you, buy your designs? Where can we all do that?
Oh, goodness. Well, I have a business called I'm sorry. Here we go. Those live moments of the bloopers. Savage Couture Jewelry is the name of my jewelry company that I hand make. And you can find me on my page, Savage Couture Jewelry. And yes, I named it after Savage Journey Entertainment. So it's brand new, so I have to get used to my own business name. But SavageJourneyENT.com, that's my website where you can find out what I do and what I can offer you as an entertainer or a promoter. And also on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, Christina Thompson, that's who I am. I am Meta verified, so you guys will see the blue check, and that's how you know it is me. I'm real, not Memorex.
Perfect. So everyone, round of applause for Christina Thompson and coming here with her amazing energy.
Thank
you. Bringing the light to our studio. So literally, in that retrospect, the light, the positivity that radiates out of her. And I do say, if you don't mind me saying, is the people that go through the hardest journeys are the ones that will end up seeing the light at the end. I always think from my own experience that the people who go through the hardest things is better than those that don't go through any.
That's very true. Because
the easier people have it, I feel like it's not the same quality of life that they live, along with the quality and the career that they have. So
yeah, you appreciate it more.
Yes.
You learn to appreciate it and take care of it more.
Yeah, and you don't take any poopy.
No.
I try not to be too foul on this show. But everyone, thank you, Christina, for coming here, for bringing your positivity and telling your story to us.
Thank you so
and
much.
being open with me and being very vulnerable.
Anytime.
Thank you for that.
That's what I write.
Thank you guys. So that is Christina Thompson. Make sure to follow her. Make sure to reach out to her, support her. If you guys need any promotional help as an artist, please reach out to her. She will be there, and she actually goes to the shows personally. So please, please, please take a note of her. And when we come back, we will have our closing credits. So see you then.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
I was always smarter than the other kids. I matured at an early age. I was always a daydreamer, but I surprised my foster parent all the time.
You have come a long way, Cal. I'm proud of you.
As I learned by myself with no homeschool or public school, I was always alone as far back as I can remember. I'm an orphan and never met my real parents, and I never wanted to. Books soon became my new friends. They never talked back, and I could always rely on them to be there for me. Other kids my age made fun of me. They called me a freak because I knew more than them. I learned to keep my mouth shut. My foster parent didn't really pay attention to me while I grew up. He always thought I was weird.
I wouldn't be in this mess if it wasn't for you. You told me to drown my dad. What the fuck is wrong with you? How twisted are you?
You just murdered your father. They'll start looking for him. They'll eventually see the boat rocking alone in the lake.
Hey, do you need any carports or anything? What the hell are you doing on my property?
No, sorry, I was just leaving.
Then get the hell off my property. I don't need you and you little shits fucking up my property. Hey, do I know you?
No, I don't think so.
Aren't you Crop's son?
Yeah,
How's he doing?
he's okay.
Is he still drinking?
Hi guys, and welcome back to the hot seat. I hope you guys enjoyed this amazing episode. Like I always say, there is a theme to every episode, and this one is perseverance, positivity, and going through what life throws at you, but also staying true to your dream and what it is you love to do. This goes without saying as a great life advice to any of you, not even just being in entertainment. This can go for so many different things in life itself, and to know to stay true to who you are and ignore the haters, because everyone's just going to do this. As you guys have known, if you guys follow me, you know I live by my truth, and I express a lot of my feelings, and know that in 2024, like I told you guys prior to the holiday season, that this year is going to be a different way of navigating the industry. It's a way of living your truth, being honest with experiences, and just wanting more from life and from what you want, depending on your goals. So please lead with that, and please lead only with positivity and professionalism. That's all that we want here, especially in this studio. So I will say, if you guys want to be sitting in the hot seat like Bob and Christina did, please email your bio and headshot to admin@socialmediashows.com. That is going to be your golden email if you guys want to be submitted to be considered on the show. Please keep in mind, it's a consideration. It's not going to grant you an automatic position in one of our episodes. Now, if you do have a premiere, a red carpet, an award show, whatever it may be, we do host red carpets. The whole team gets together. We bring all of our equipment, and you have a host of your choice. I hope that it is me. And we go to your shows and we interview the people that arrive to your event. We're on the red carpet. We take pictures, we do the video, and you get it live in real time. So if you want to inquire about that part of social media shows, please email that same email, and it's admin@socialmediashows.com, and you will be in touch with the executive producer, and she will help you arrange all of those things. So with that being said, 2024 has been a great start. Our first episode of the new year was absolutely amazing, and we learned so much every single episode, but I really think that this was a great way to start the new year and raises all the stakes for what we're looking forward to here at Social Media Shows. So make sure to tune in next week to see a brand new episode of The Hot Seat and to see me again. And so then we can all just enjoy sitting here together, and I hope that you guys are still enjoying watching all of our episodes, because they're streaming all of the time, and that you're sharing, commenting, liking, bringing more viewers in. It's only helping us get better here in the studio. So I will see you guys next week.